Generally, we don't bother to read the former President Donald Trump's deranged posts on social media. But this one is so unstable and so unhinged, it's important that Americans maybe know just how imbalanced the Republican nominee is. So here goes. Trump writes in full, quote, "This is the most radical left duo in American history. There has never been anything like it, and there never will be again. Crazy Kamala is indeed crazy. I hear there is a big movement to bring back Crooked Joe. What are the chances that Crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the U.S., whose presidency was unconstitutionally stolen from him by Kamala, Barack Hussein Obama, crazy Nancy Pelosi, shifty Adam Schiff, crying Chuck Schumer, and others on the lunatic left, crashes the Democratic National Convention and tries to take back the nomination, beginning with challenging me to another debate. He feels that he made a historically tragic mistake by handing over the U.S. presidency, a coup, to the people in the world he most hates, and he wants it back now."
So Charlie, campaigns are about contrasts, and that's exactly what I was saying before. There are issues to go after Tim Walz on if you're a conservative, and yet Donald Trump, as the Wall Street Journal editorial page always says, never provides that space because he's always doing things like that. But what a split screen if you are a suburban voter in outside of Milwaukee, outside of Detroit, outside of Philly, outside of Atlanta. If you're in the northern suburbs of Atlanta and you didn't vote for Trump in 2020, but you think you might in 2024, there's your split screen. Look at them smiling on stage. Look at the fun. Look at the screaming crowds. It looks like winners. And I will say, as a Republican, and you were a former Republican, I was a former Republican, I'm not used to Democrats looking like winners. They're usually in a crouched position. They're usually scared of their own shadow, the exception being Barack Obama. But again, the visuals yesterday were striking, and compare that with Donald Trump's lonely rants on Truth Social. That is a striking contrast, is it not, for suburban swing voters?
It is a striking contrast, and it's also important context. I want to go back to something that Mike Barnicle said. You know, you look at Tim Walz, and he's not a scary guy. You know, I was thinking about what it was about him that was sort of, you know, hitting me. And it was like, I know this guy. A lot of people, you know, in a place like Wisconsin, know that guy. They had that guy as their coach. They know that guy from down the street. He talks like them. And I think that's going to be very, very powerful. You know, you may disagree with him on policy, but he's going to explain it in terms that you understand. But I'm so glad that you brought up this post by Donald Trump, this gibbering nonsense. I mean, can we just say it? This man is not well. So while we're talking about, you know, the policies of the Democratic ticket, you know, take a deep breath and recognize that the former president of the United States is having this cognitive mental breakdown in real time. In plain view. I mean, what is that paranoid maundering that he's going on about? And this new nickname, which is not a typo, the Kamala. I mean, I'm sorry, Joe and Mika, what the hell is that? What does he think he's doing? I mean, this is a guy who, you know, once was kind of like the master, right? I never bought it, but, you know, would come up with nicknames. He doesn't have that touch anymore, right? It feels like, you know, the old guy is just, you know, reaching back, throwing spaghetti and ketchup against the wall. But I'm guessing that most people are looking at that tweet and going, you know, are they going to get this guy help? Is there something going on with him? Because this certainly does not sound like somebody who is doing well or is feeling confident. So whatever concerns you might have about the Democratic ticket, this is important to sort of take a deep breath and say, meanwhile, over here, the former president of the United States is losing his freaking mind.